This is how Islam and peaceful Islam is, rather than say Islam was spread by the sword. In 3 years of peace, it went from 1,400 to 10,000 people. And the best example, if we look at Indonesia today, which is the largest populous Muslim nation, there was no sword. It was the message, the wonderful message of Islam reaching the people there. And from there, they adopted Islam because they see it's fair, it's everybody's equal rights, and this is the message. And that's what we have to learn about Islam, rather than what we see in the nightly news. And please remember, same nightly local news, we see somebody, a murder, and see, this does not make us all murderers, this does not make us all bad. Yes, there are bad people, and maybe it is the job of the news to highlight the bad, but it should not stereotype everybody, because Muslims, vast majority of them are peaceful, peace-loving, they live in this society, and they want to contribute, and they want to add. It's very important that Muslims believe in other religions, and they respect other religions, and they respect other things. I'd like to share with you some of the emails I got. And this email, this gentleman from New Westminster, BC, says, although I am not a Muslim, I was impressed by the clarity of your message. It is very useful to hear, because so often there are negative stereotypes of Islam. It was good to hear about the kind of generous nature of your message. Again, many thanks, and I will tune in again. This is one example. Another message, this lady tells us, I agree with you and your guest on the issue of complaining about stereotypes. Television shows such as Law and Order constantly portray Muslims and Arabs as criminals or terrorists. I have lived long enough to know that this has happened to other groups in the past. Whether in literature, movies, or television, these stereotypes portrayals must be addressed. If you and I don't speak up, who will? I enjoy your show and have learned a great deal from it. Thank you for writing. I really appreciate people who write. I appreciate all your questions. I will appreciate your issues, and let's discuss them. I feel comfortable discussing issues. I am not saying Muslims are perfect. We have to realize Muslims are people like every other race. There is the good, there is the bad, but that does not make Islam a bad religion. Islam is a wonderful religion that those who follow it, some of them, or a lot of them actually, misunderstand it and misrepresent it, should not reflect on Islam. And that's why I get very hurt and I get very upset when somebody says Islamic radicals, Islamic terrorism. This is an oxymoron. Islam is a religion of peace, so there cannot be radicalism in Islam. Actually, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ tells us the best thing is in the middle. Always choose the middle. And his wife Aisha radiallahu anha tells us that if the Prophet given choices of being multiple things, he will choose the easy thing so long as it was allowed, so long as it's right. He will always choose the easy thing. So Islam is the middle of the road. Islam is a religion of peace. So yes, we can say Muslim radicals, we can say Muslim terrorists, because some of them might be this, but we should never say Islam. We should look at Islam as this wonderful thing we all strive at. Finally, I'd like to read to you this email from this young Muslim out in BC. She says, I think that the problem these days that a lot of young Muslims like myself who don't follow Islam is not only because of living in the westernized world, but because there isn't a clear message given to them about Islam. Again, she goes on and says, I heard you speaking about Islam in English, so I said I would listen to it for a bit. I was absolutely mesmerized by your program, and I watched the whole show. This is all the time we have today. I'd like to thank you all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allah.